Hi, everyone. Dr. Ortolano here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a full-time professor in the English department, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a program called Medium. And so Medium is a program that's used rather widely in a variety of our English courses, and what it does is it allows students to rather easily combine traditional text with images, videos, GIFs, hyperlinks, what have you, into one sort of seamless digital essay. And what I'm going to recommend it as is a really great stepping stone digital project. If you, for example, you've got a PowerPoint or traditional essay and you want to spice it up a little bit or allow maybe your more ambitious students to try an expanded version of the assignment, Medium is because of how easy the program is to use, and I'll show you all this in a second, it offers an incredible opportunity for you to easily transform one of your assignments in a way that allows your students to create a better product that will give them additional opportunities to demonstrate their understanding of the course content. Also, for folks who, don't have a lot of digital projects in their courses but are maybe interested in creating one, this program I think is a great opportunity to be sort of a stepping stone into digital, these sorts of digital assignments. But be careful, it could be a gateway assignment, right? All of a sudden, you turn around in 5 years and you've been transforming all of your assignments. So, be careful where the path leads you. I'm joking, we're just run down the path, right? Okay, so without further ado, what I am going to do is I'm going to dive into a presentation on Medium that is done on Medium so you can see what the program looks like. And if you look out just below, you'll see the link to this Medium presentation in case you want to go back and, read any of the content in more detail, check out some of the hyperlink resources, that sort of thing. And as I move through this presentation, I will also, I'll pause in the middle and just kind of show you how easy it is to use this program. You ready? Okay, let's dive in. Okay, welcome back. So as you can see, this essay itself is done on Medium. And so this is looks exactly like the kind of projects that your students might create. And so over the course of this presentation, I'm just going to quickly cover why you might want to use these kinds of projects. If you're not sold yet, you're thinking about it, you're on the fence. I'll also then talk a little bit about how the assignment that I use. I'll give you the assignment guidelines, grading rubric. It's all contained in this presentation. I'll quickly reference a Medium project that Professor Ellie Bunting uses in the master course version of our Lit 2000 Introduction to Literature class. I'll demonstrate how to use this program, and I'll leave you with just a few final thoughts at the end. Okay, you ready? Okay, we'll keep moving. We'll keep moving. So here you'll actually see the video version of this presentation, because the great thing about Medium programs, you can make them private very easily, unlisted. I'll show you that when I explain how to use the program. But also, it can be a great way for you to create content that is, public facing, that other scholars and professionals can sort of engage. So I'm actually going to toss this video presentation right here once I'm done with it. So it'll be the Medium presentation that is done on Medium that has the video of the Medium presentation in the Medium. It's going to get very meta, right, if you will. Okay, enough. I was going to say enough literature jokes, but they're never going to end, right? We'll keep going. So as I mentioned, Medium's a free program. It allows students to create these digital essays that bring together traditional text with all sorts of digital content into one seamless document. And an important point here is that it also allows students to create the sorts of informal and formal text that they encounter in the world at large. Like, very rarely are students just writing with text, even if they're just on a small order social media platform like Twitter, right, where they have very limited space. They're still often accentuating the text with some sort of digital content, and so it teaches them to write using the sorts of composition that are just dominant in the world as it exists. And I don't think that process is reversing, right? In fact, it's accelerating in the other direction. And so, boom! Your course is complete. Nah, it's not really completely transformed, right? It's a joke. It's not completely transformed. But it does give you a way of just, making an already existent assignment, a little bit more challenging or engaging for students. So as I've already sort of mentioned, we exist in a world where literacy itself is undergoing some rapid transformation. Daniel Keller notes this in Chasing Literacy, Reading and Writing in an Age of Acceleration. What he says is that literacies include a diversity of language and culture, as well as a range of expressive modes offered by various media. Instead of it being tied to like alphabetic text or a set of encoding decoding skills, single encoding decoding skills, it is now sort of a range of semiotic modes, various life domains that the students inhabit in the workplace, at home, at school, in the public space, on the web, wherever. And each of these forms of composition requires their own sort of set of analytic, composition, skills. And so what we need to really be thinking about is how to give students a very flexible skill set that they can deploy, in a variety of writing situations. And so projects like Medium are an essential component of helping students become more fluid communicators in a world in which communication relies upon knowing how to employ the written word in conjunction with a host of other digital elements. And if you look here, you can already see the ways in which this digital essay, it allows for this very natural embedding of these sort of hyperlinks, right? So here's the hyperlink out to the Daniel Keller book. This is an image. I'll explain more about this later, but Medium allows you to bring in images very quickly, very easily, and it, as its default engine, uses Unsplash, which does suggest you give attribution, but these images are all free to use. So it also gives you an opportunity to talk to students about that sort of thing. And so this is one of the reasons why Medium projects make such frequent appearances in our in composition and literature courses. They sort of help students write in a mode that's truly reflective of the sort of public-facing informal and formal compositions that, again, occur in the world at large. In the process, they answer the call of scholars like Daniel Nicole DeVos, Elise Eidman et al., and Troy Hicks, the call they make for writing instruction to become appropriate for the world today. It requires us to consider what new skills and dispositions students might need in the digital age. And so students exit assignments like this with a deep understanding of what an effective digital text looks like, how images, videos, document design, hyperlinks, etc. can and need to be used effectively to deepen the effectiveness of the text that they are creating. And as they learn these skills, they also create a product that more fully engages the content they are discussing than would be possible through, again, like a traditional essay or PowerPoint presentation. And you don't want to be like naive me here, thinking, oh, well, this is a magic bullet, right? This is a Harry Potter wand of sorts. No. We do want to make sure that we are using these sorts of digital projects purposefully, right? We want to make sure that the assignment that you might use for a Medium essay, that it is one in which bringing in these digital elements allows the students to do the assignment better, right, than they could have otherwise, to better demonstrate their understanding of the course content and to better represent that understanding to you, the professor. Also, keep in mind that these projects exist in the cloud. As a result, you're not going to be able to mark them up as you would a PDF or a Word document. What I generally do, and you'll see an example of this later, is I create like a grading rubric, and then I leave detailed comments into different sections of the grading rubric and a comment at the end, and then they kind of get an understanding of how they've done. I've already mentioned before that this program is used by a variety of professional writers across a host of genres. In fact, you can find work from some of FSW's own professors on Medium. Here's one from Professor Leonard Owens, new faculty in the English department, that he wrote during the pandemic about advertising's response to the pandemic and the protests that were happening over the summer. Summer 2020, if you're seeing this later on down the road. So again, a benefit here then is that you yourself can find published work on the subject if you're so inclined, not necessary at all though, that you can then assign to students. And that's something I do in my class, more on that down below. Keep in mind though that so Medium is a publishing program that a lot of professional writers will use, but also a lot of professional magazines will use to publish their work. And so you may find that if a magazine is publishing it, they want you to have a subscription to them or through Medium in order to access it. That's not true of all the content. Definitely won't be true of your work or your student's work or this essay at all. And that's because, some people are publishing to make money, right? They're living. It's how they work. And you may find, though, if you find a piece from like the Atlantic on here, and they published that same piece on their website. You can get to it through the library databases. So just pro tip there, keep that in mind. So here is how I use Medium in my own Composition 1 courses. This project, it concludes my Comp 1 course. It's a capstone assignment. And in my Comp 1 class, we're writing a variety of essays for a variety of audiences and purposes. And this essay, what it does is it's right after the major research paper, and it's designed to be sort of a fun and engaging final assignment, serious assignment though, right? Serious assignment that gives the students an opportunity to take a reflective look back on their growth as a student and writer throughout the semester, bringing in the digital content to help accentuate the dominant impressions that they are trying to convey in each aspect of the digital essay that they create. And that's something we talk a lot about, right? The way in which they need to make sure that they're hyperlinking out to useful content. They are bringing in items that help the reader understand the journey they've gone on. I do have sample students assignments that I have permission to share. I didn't want to share them in this presentation just since it's going public because their name appears on the left. But some of my students, what they did is they would, some of them used, for example, one student used The Office as an extended metaphor for their journey, and would pull in GIFs and videos from that TV show throughout their essay to sort of represent the different crises that they had as the semester went on. Another student used a lot of artifacts, so I'll mention this further on down the road, but Medium has a free smartphone app, so they took pictures of some handwritten notes that I gave them and uploaded it to show the kind of feedback they were getting, and then how they incorporated that feedback into their own work. The ways in which they bring in that content is really kind of limited by their own imagination. So it's really kind of a cool assignment for this kind of class, especially because Comp 1 is setting them up for Comp 2, surprise, surprise, which itself tends to have a rather heavy emphasis on digital literacy. So this is kind of a cool way to get them to think about those sorts of things. And it allowed me to take a standard reflection essay that I used to assign that I think students enjoyed, and expand it and make it a much more useful assignment, so that I could also make sure that they understood that a lot of these concepts that we were talking about with the traditional essay, that they continued in different modes of composition. And also getting them to think a little bit about how those organizational concepts, might change and be modified in this new medium of writing. So there's that. And you can find my assignment guidelines here. I'm in an editing view. Hang on. Uh-oh, it's saving and publishing. Okay, sorry, I'm in an editing view. So it wasn't going to show up when I clicked on it. But we're too far. We're just going to press on. We're going to press on. Everyone's part of the presentation. I'm doing this at the tail end of 2020. So if only a few things go wrong, I'll consider myself very lucky. All right, dodging the 2020 curse, if you will. So you click here, you can get my assignment guidelines that I use for the project. Feel free to use them in whatever way is useful to your own purposes. And you also have the grading rubric, and as I mentioned right above the grading rubric, again, I suggest writing comments in each section of the rubric. Over here to the right, I just took a snapshot on Canvas. But if you want me to, I guess I really can't copy and paste it as one coherent thing. But if you want access to it, let me know. I'll give you access in some way. We'll work it out. If you don't want to retype it, but you want to use these categories. I also assigned a couple essays from very different professional writers, so that they can kind of see how professionals are using these sorts of assignments. So here's one from a poet who writes about losing his mother and having a child, and also struggling as a writer and kind of coming to terms with what it meant. What it means to be a poet in the modern world, and does it through the lens of a card game called Magic the Gathering. It's also about kind of embracing his inner nerdiness. So that's kind of a cool and very unexpected essay that my students seem to enjoy. And this is by, again, poet Todd Dillard, who actually just had a collection come out. You should check it out. Does a lot of some cool dad poetry that I really appreciate as a father. So definitely check that out. And then also, I've got a photojournalist, or not photojournalist, an artist, somebody does street photography. I'm so sorry if any of our art folks are watching this and cringing as I botch the terminology. But Peter Schaefer, and he brings in some of his street photography and talks about what that means to him and how it's kind of a cliche genre, so he has anxieties about it, but also something that, really he thinks is important for self-expression, at least for him, and also in a broader aspect when it's done well. So we've got all these terms here, and they, again, are linking out to collections that he has, and it kind of shows the students to writers who are bringing in media in a way that I might like to see them do, but they're doing it in very profoundly different ways. And it shows them that, again, this is a program and a form of writing that is being used rather significantly by professional writers, and that kind of energizes them too, right? They see that they are operating, even if they're going to keep their work private, that they're operating in the same spheres, right, as these pro writers. So that's kind of cool. And if you have any aspiring writers, it's kind of it's a good thing to tip them off on, right? Give them ways to get their voice out there. Even if you may have an aspiring chef who could use this to, string together gifts of her making recipes, for example. I'm just kind of pulling at strings here, but you get what I'm saying. Hopefully. So Medium does have a tutorial, and the tutorial, Medium has a free smartphone app, which is something that I really like. It has a tutorial for the desktop client and the smartphone app. But I'm going to show you just how incredibly easy it is to see these assignments. And again, also, I skipped over this. You can find a deeper explanation of this project from me. I'm yammering you enough right now. I think by the end of this, the last thing you're going to sort of have on your mind is, I wish Scott said more, right? But if you want a different talk from me, you can hear it here. Okay. So, I've already mentioned the program. I'm going to put my own video here again so folks can kind of see it. Just as importantly, the program, again, allows students to pull things from Unsplash. And it also, you don't need to go down too far down this rabbit hole, but it does give you an opportunity to talk about fair use and the importance of labeling images effectively, as well, so folks can navigate it. And it, again, allows them to make their projects private so that only people with the URL can access it, which is a really important thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull off of this and just show you how incredibly easy it is to use this program. So let me get off of all this business. So when they sign up for Medium, I'm going to pull my face down there so you can see what I'm doing. When they sign up for Medium, they can do it through Google. They can do it through social media accounts. They can also just create an email they use, or they can create like a dummy email account if they don't, or if they want to use any information. I know some students do that. And I think that's actually a good privacy practice if they want to do that. Also, if you have any students that really strongly want to use, don't want to use the program, I always do offer alternative versions through Word or PowerPoint if that's something that they feel very deeply about. I think it's important, right, to make sure you're accommodating all of your students' needs regardless. But when they're signed in, you just go to Stories. And, you can see old drafts that I've done here. But I'm going to go ahead, create a new story. And it's you see how easy this is. So I'm just going to type title. And then you just start telling your story. And you can see how the different blocks of text and the other thing are, those just return lines. And it's just so easy to add information to this. This is why it's really useful. Could you do this in some other programs? Yeah, but it's not as user-friendly and intuitive. There's a reason why professional writers are using this instead of MS Word, for example, right? Because it is just so easy. So let me show you an example. So I'm going to grab a YouTube video now. Here's me explaining to my students how to use my online office hours from this past semester. So all I'm doing is pasting the link in and hitting return, and it turns into my video. It's that easy. Ditto, let me grab a GIF here. Oh, here's one you haven't seen yet. So you can either copy the link to this and put the link here to do that, or you can save the GIF, and this is going to make it a little smaller of an image, which is why I tend to do this. And also, if the link goes down, it'll still work. It's something you can show students as well. And now it's more controllable. That easy. And then when it comes to labeling them, you just click below and you type your caption. You add your hyperlink if you want to link out. Linking out is very easy. You right click. Oh, you don't even right click. You just click. Sorry, and then you just paste the link. It's so easy to use. Ditto with websites. A lot of websites will auto transform. So if you look here, all I did was put the link, and it automatically linked out to here the assignment guidelines in my Google Drive file that I shared. Here the essays. Like, it's creating all these for me. And it just makes it look so clean and so professional. And then another important point. Sorry, I'm cutting back here. You probably got jolted a little bit just to show you how to do this. In order to make it publish, in order to make it unlisted, you just hit publish. And I have my students do this in class when we do like sort of a practice assignment so they can see how to do it. And you go to manage unlisted setting, and you can make it so only people with the link can access the program. And I think that's very important. If you have something that's going to be public facing, students need to be able to hide where it's from. So there's that. And let me keep going down here. Let's save and publish. So I'm back to using the program normally. The other good thing, as you can see, is it saves it to the cloud, so students can't use it. And in fact, students can start working on it in your class. They can start then they can pick it back up on the phone as they're walking between classes. Hopefully they're not working on your project in other classes. Then they can get back home to a different computer and use it. And so it's really kind of cool that it's a project that is also just so accessible for them in terms of how they can work on it. And they can go to different versions in their that they have of the program. If I were still editing, I'd show you up, but it would be in the top right corner. So they can see different versions of the assignment. So if they make a change, they can go back and find the old one. So again, very user-friendly, so easy to use. And I mentioned we use it in other classes. Here's one quickly from Professor Ellie Bunting. And this is with her permission. You can see the assignment guidelines in the Lit 2000 master course. There's a fun project toward the end of the semester called Books That Changed the World, where students write about a book and its impact on the world. And they create, this is the sample, not a student project, this is the sample project that she created for her students. And they have clear sections that they enter information into, and it also allows them to kind of link out in a kind of fun, cool way. I let students do any book they want if they don't want to use any of the suggested topics, and I play pretty fast and loose with what the impact is. So I had someone who did a project on Harry Potter and was linking out to all these people and events, and that the book is sort of influenced in ways that you might not suspect, and even programs and classes on the course at respected colleges and universities. And it's sort of this really cool way of talking about the book's influence, but then being able to link out to the book's influence. So that itself is kind of cool. And I do have some tips about assigning this. If you can, try to reserve a computer room the day you assign the project. Again, it does have a free smartphone app, so you can get into it that way. I often try to create a quick in-class assignment that'll push students to use different tools, like integrating a video, image, show students how to make the project private and have them do that in class, just so there's no confusion. And also be aware that there's one potential issue. High schools block Medium, so they can't work on it in their high school. Not all, some of them do. And some of the high school issued computers and emails won't allow Medium to connect. So that's something to be aware of. Again, I've only had one issue where a student didn't have access to a different computer, and I didn't want it to become a thing that would become a hurdle for them. So we agreed, and she just ended up doing it on PowerPoint. And it wasn't as clean looking, no, but she was able to reach the objectives of the assignment. So that's the real important thing. So again, in conclusion, here this is a really fun, easy to use, and engaging program. And I think it can apply across so many different disciplines. If you're doing a project where students have to go out and take pictures of different things, do field work of some sort, students can just here easily integrate in videos of themselves off their phone, doing whatever it is that they're doing, pictures that they took along the way, and then just, write the essay around those images. It is just a fantastic program and one that students really enjoy and have a lot of fun with. They're always they have a little anxiety whenever you assign anything that's new, but that's true of anything at college, at the college level, right? But by the time they're done, they have this knowledge about how to create this different type of essay, compose a project that, again, is more like the sorts of projects they see in the broader world. And it's just, I can't recommend this enough. I think it's a great first early on type of assignment to use. So I do have a few other things, as I'm reminding myself there. If you're interested in digital pedagogy at all, please consider joining the Digital Pedagogy Reading Group. We are an asynchronous reading group that has meetings via Microsoft Teams. We have different sets of readings that we discuss, and we talk about them via discussion threads in Microsoft Teams. And we also do have an optional video meeting now toward the end of each month. But again, that's completely optional, and we're doing it asynchronously so that folks can drop in and participate, whenever they have the time to do so. It's also the Community of Practice in Instructional Technology. We meet, and if you want to, join the reading group, click on that link to be added to the team site. There is also a registration link at the end of each calendar month, and or just send me an email, if you have any other questions. And here we have the Community of Practice Instructional Technology. We meet the second Monday of each month. These are synchronous video meetings, but if you join our group, we archive video sessions on Canvas. So if you want to be added to our Canvas shell, even if you can't make any of the meetings right now, if you just send me a quick message on Canvas or email right here, I'll make sure that you're added to our group and you can become one of us. We're always looking for new members. And this is that's just a quick. It's a transdisciplinary group, faculty of some who are great with tech, some who are they're new to using technology in the classroom. We really welcome everyone. And we're always looking for new members. It's a great informal group. So that's it. You've made it to the end of the presentation and this digital essay. And so let me just say thank you so much for bearing with me. Again, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. It's Screen 5. Have a great semester, and thank you.